What is going on, everybody? It's Jason and Angel. Today we're joined by Ricardo. Ricardo, how's your day going today?
Doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking. And I hope your days is going well for both of you.
Absolutely. First off, I want to say thank you for the very kind words you said in your email you sent us when you checked out the Max Brooks interview. What made you want to become a writer?
You know what? It just came to me. It was the reason I wrote this book. It was a memory from Super Bowl Sunday, 1998. I was I went to my friend's house. I was living down in Fremont, which is about 50 miles southeast of San Francisco, about that, and I drove northeast to go hang out with my friend and watch the Super Bowl. Um, and on the way there, the last exit off the freeway is a road called North Vasco Road. It's a beautiful country road. It's about 7-8 miles long. And so I drove there, rolling hills. It was really green. We had a lot of rain that January. And a cow came up to my car while I was driving there. It was really cool. But on the way back, after the Super Bowl, it was dark, and the low clouds, kind of foggy, look real eerie. Have either of you seen the movie An American Werewolf in London?
I did. Recently just saw the cast at a convention as well.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Angel, if you haven't seen it, it's a great movie. It is gory and bloody, but it's a great werewolf.
Oh, my favorite.
You got to see it. It's from 1979. It's an old movie, but it's really well made. Actually, it got a lot of acclaim for when he transforms into a werewolf, with the special effects they had at the time. But it got a lot of recognition for that. So when I was driving back home and I'm on that country road and there's not too many lights in between, I look out and I'm like, man, it's real eerie. It's like, it reminded me of the Moors. When you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. It reminded me of the Moors in the beginning when the two guys are walking in England, right? When they're walking to that pub and then they get kicked out because they're not English, and then they're walking in the Moors. And I'm like, man, this will be a great place to meet a wolfman, right? So that memory stayed with me, and then back in December 2024, I'm hanging out with some friends, and we're talking about old friends, and I remember that moment, and then I get in my car and drive home, and I'm like, it just popped in my head again. It's like, what if a werewolf? You know what I mean? And for some reason, it just stayed with me, and that thought just stayed with me, and it wouldn't get out of my head. Right? I went to sleep. The next morning, it was even stronger, and I'm like, I got to do something with this thought. What can I do? And my first thought was to create hyper-realistic cinematic videos, right, and post them on YouTube. But I'm not that skilled in that. And so as much as I tried, and I didn't really want to hire anybody because I wasn't sure if that's how I really wanted to go. I wanted to try it first. And I used ChatGPT, but ChatGPT for that doesn't work. And so then I switched gears and I'm like, you know what, let me write a book, because I'm an avid reader. I love reading. I've been reading since I was like 8. I read a lot of spy thrillers, hard-boiled detectives. I love Michael Connelly. I don't know if you know Michael Connelly, the Harry Bosch series, and then Jonathan Kellerman, Patricia Cornwell, all Sue Ivanovich. I like all of them, right? I love all these hard-boiled and spy thrillers. I love all that stuff. And so, I thought about it. I was like, could I write a book? And I'm like, I also don't have the skills to write, really well, articulate my thoughts. So, I did my research and I got some help on that. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna write a werewolf story, but it's got to be different. I didn't want to write another werewolf story, right? Because then it'll just get lost, right? It'll be, and the same. It's the premise. The premise is the same in all werewolf stories, right? Turn into a werewolf. The moon comes, they turn into this beast that they can't control, and it starts killing people. And I'm like, you know what? I don't want my guy to do that. I want something different. And then I go, what can I do to make it different? And right behind me, if you look in the wall right behind me, there's a little Giants banner there and some other stuff. At the time last year, this was around March, April, May, somewhere around there. My son was trying music class, and one of his good friends is a trombone player. So my son decided, he was 15 at the time. He decided to try, the trombone. So he brought the case home and he put it right behind me in that wall. And as I'm thinking of what to write for the story, I kept looking at that trombone case, and I'm like, music, right? And that the old adage came into my head, right? Music calms a savage beast, right? And I'm like, hey, you know what? I can use that as a gimmick for the story. And so I came up as like, I'm gonna use music as a driving force for my character when he becomes a werewolf. Instead of becoming a killer, music transforms his consciousness, and he's still himself. And because this guy's morally based and he's not a killer, instead of becoming that vicious, brutal, nasty killer, he becomes a protector, you know, a savior of sorts. So, and that's how I came up with the story. And I'm like, hey, and then I went with that, and the rest is history.
I think if I was trying to write a book, I'd have little notepads everywhere for when ideas pop into my head so they don't just slip away.
Yeah.
Do you have anything that helps out doing all that?
No, you know what? That's a great tool to use. You know, it's like a lot of people do that, right? A lot of writers, a lot of people carry notebooks, especially, you know, creative people, right? Because you never know when a thought's going to pop up, right? Even in the bathroom while you're sleeping, right? Bathroom is a great, you know, you're by yourself and you're like, you'll be in the bathroom. Like, hey.
Yep, your mind's just going.
Hey, somebody pass me a pat. No, not right now, but we'll wait. You know, or you're sleeping, right? And you wake up and then you're like, hey, you know, bingo, anywhere, right? Yeah. And I think creative people, that's what they do. And I did write my stuff down, but it's mostly when I was here where I'm sitting right now on the computer, I would write my notes down. And I've got a pretty good memory. I kind of got like a photographic memory. So when I get thoughts in there, like I said, it just lingers in there. And then I get home and I got to write it down. But you know, like what you said, that's a great tool to have, to use. Yeah.
So what kind of, you mentioned Michael Connelly. How does that like inspire your story?
Well, you know, it's the way he tells the story. All the great writers, right? They throw little clues in there, right? And they throw twists, right? And to me, you know, just reading that stuff over and over, I'm like, sorry about my cat. He's meowing. I got a tuxedo cat and he wants to get out. When Michael Connelly and Jonathan Kellerman and all the other great writers that I've read, yeah, it's the way they present it, the way they present their antagonists. A lot of them, they just don't throw their antagonists right there and then. It's like you got to figure it out, right? And they throw you little clues. And Jonathan Kellerman was really good at that. A lot of his killers were right in front of the good guys, right? And then until later on, it's like, wow, you know, it's like I take a little bit of everyone, and that's my inspiration. You know, it's like, hey, how can I write my story and make it out where I'm not giving everything away? You know, I got to do it little by little, and that's a great question, and that's what I took from Connelly and a lot of the other authors.
So when I was reading over your site, it said that you like to write a little bit of romance stuff too. Did I read that correctly?
Little bit. There is romance in my book. He does meet from his first transformation. He was actually I'll give a little bit away, just, you know, but not a whole lot. But when his first transformation, he goes out into the woods. He doesn't want to transform where he's living at because he doesn't want to get discovered, right? And he doesn't want to tear everything apart in there. And then because he knows if he gets discovered, it's over, right? And so he decides to go to these woods. And then in that woods, there's this lady jogging. Her name's Nicole Santoro. And she likes to jog, you know, in the woods when there's a full moon, right? So she's jogging, and he's a werewolf, and he's going to kill her because that's what he is. But as he's getting closer to her, she's got her smartphone with her iPhone, and she's got her iPods on, and she's listening to music, and he catches that. He catches the little rhythm, the little melody. He catches the music, and as he gets closer to her, that music, because my protagonist is a high school music teacher and a DJ by night, and music's been in his life since he was a baby. It's in his DNA. So when he hears that music coming from her iPods, that's the magic right there. Then it transforms and he becomes himself. So instead of killing her, he just looks at her in surprise and goes the other way, because that's not who he is, you know. And again, you know, I didn't want to make the story the same, right? You know, one of the things about the werewolf, when they kill their first victim, that's it, it's over. The story's pretty much, hey, let's hunt this creature down. We got to, you know, he's going to kill again, right? And so I didn't want the same arc. I wanted mine to be different. So that's his, and you know, later on he comes back to her because he's smitten by her. You know, he saw how beautiful she is, and she comes back, and you got to throw romance in there, right? Because romance is like the number one seller in books, right? People love good romance. And also, Angel, I love it that you asked me that, because I've been married over 16 years, you know, and I love my wife dearly, love my son, you know, and I love when I see couples who've been married for a long time. I admire that, you know. So it's like, yeah, you have to throw romance in there. It's part of life, and also she becomes a central figure in the story, you know. And later on, she saves him too. So, yeah.
I love it. It sounds like it has a little bit of everything. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, I hope you do.
So, Ricardo, what kind of stuff do you geek out about?
I love tech. I love, you know, AI is dominating the landscape right now, right? But you know, I belong to this book club, and I love computers. I love cameras. I love taking videos. You know what? I'm 61, but I even love video games still. You know, I'm just not very good at them, right? Because I don't. My what do you call it? My reflexes. My reflexes are not as good. My son's really good at it. We got a PS5. We also got a PlayStation PS5. He also has a Xbox. He's really good at them, but I don't have it. But they're fun, right? It's a good way to escape, right? Yeah, I love technology. I love like I got to watch myself when I go to Costco or other stores. If I see something with electronics, you know, it's like I want to get it, right? Best Buy, I want to get everything, right? And you know, being an author now, Jason, it's like, God, I would love to go to like Comic-Con and all these cons, right? And meet other like-minded people. It's like said, I probably got some geek in me, you know. I'm probably, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. I think it's a great trait to have. Yeah, I love technology. I like AI, like I was saying, but one of the things about AI is it's I don't want it to overtake the creativeness out of people. You know, everyone's coming up with this AI. Oh, it'll create all the videos for you. It'll create the scripts for you. It's like, nah, man. It's like that. What happened to the human aspect of you being a creator? You know, you're gonna let a computer program do everything for you. You know, and the only thing you're gonna do is edit it at the end. There's no creativity in that.
No experience either. Like AI wasn't driving after the Super Bowl to be able to write the story that you wrote.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and have either of you written a book or anything like that?
Destiny on our podcast has. I have a couple ideas in my head that I've thought about doing, but no, I have not.
Yeah, and you know, that's the human side of it, right? I mean, AI could write it for you, and it could do that, and it, you know, they're even saying that people are using AI to copy other author stuff, right? And and to put their own name on it, so they're using it. They're exploiting. You know, they're exploiting people for that, but it doesn't have instincts. It's like I don't know if you guys in Columbus have the self-driving cars, but there's a ton of them in San Francisco, right? Because I work in San Francisco, there's a ton of them. Me personally, I don't trust self-driving cars because
Me neither.
It's the instinct, right? It's the instinct. It's like that's what makes people. That's the best part of being human, right? It's the the computer program's not going to have that. So,
not computers, black and white. You know, people can work in the gray. It's funny that you mentioned the self-driving cars. I was in Georgia recently, and they have them in Atlanta. And I looked over, and the self-driving car, the seatbelt was on the driver's side of the car, and I'm like, why does this self-driving car have a seatbelt on? That it blew my mind to look over and see that. But sure enough, it was buckled. Everyone I saw had a buckled seatbelt.
Yeah, just hilarious. Think your next Uber's picking you up. There's nobody in the seat. I'm okay on that. Nope.
Oh, that cracks me up. Yeah, here they call them Waymos. That's the brand. The big one is Waymo. There's another one too. You want to hear something funny? When it first started coming out, I don't think I did it this year, but I know I did it last year a few times. Like I'm coming to a stop right in the city, and then there's one right there, and then the car gets there before me. But when I got there, just slightly right after, I guess the Waymo car, the self is waiting me for go. But I'm like, oh no, you can go first. And I'm like, there's nobody in there, right? And I'm cracking up, right? And people look at me all funny. It's like, what's he laughing at, right? And I'm like, there's nobody in the car, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. You should do the conventions, the Comic Cons and stuff. It's a great way for a first time author to get their books out.
I agree. My book was displayed at the London Book Fair about 3 weeks ago, but I was not able to attend. I was not able to go to London. I didn't have the money to go. But there is one coming up, which I'm gonna plan to attend. It's the LA Times Book Fair. It's in the USC campus. Have either of you ever gone to LA?
No,
I've been there once.
Yeah, when I was younger, but I really want to go back now.
Yeah. So there's supposedly that's like the biggest book fair in the country, right?
Okay.
But Jason, I would love to go to like a Comic Con because that's a little different, right? Those things are different. People come in costume. Yeah, it's just people come in all these great costumes, right? That you never see anywhere. They'll probably only dress one. One of my favorite shows was Big Bang Theory. You guys see Big Bang Theory? I love that show, right? And they had a few episodes based on Comic Con, right? They had this great one. Those guys crack me up, and yeah, they're geeks, right? But I love them. It's a great show. But yeah, I would love to go to one of them, and I'm gonna work on that, Jason. I know it's hard to get in. I know like the big one, the Comic Con is like. That one it's like you got to know people to get in that one. So.
The one in San Diego is next to impossible. I go to quite a few a year around Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky and stuff. But no, it's a fun experience, especially if you like the people watch.
Yeah. Is it more, it's not just, they call it Comic Cons, but it's not just comics, right? It's graphic novels, it's stories, it's a lot of authors are there, a lot of creators. A little bit
of everything.
Yeah. It's more of a pop culture con at this point than it is comic specific, which a lot of the purists complain because there's not a lot of comic books anymore at the Comic Cons, but there's still a lot of fun to go to, and there still are the comic people there, but it's morphed into this bigger thing. And a Big Bang Theory that you mentioned, it actually I think had a lot to do with the popularity of all of that, the culture.
Yeah. I love comic books too. I don't have any more. And there's a few in San Francisco. There's actually one that I drive by, but as a kid, I grew up. There used to be like several, and I love going in there. It felt like home, And being 61 now, I still feel the same. If I go in one, it's like I'm a kid in there, right? Like
kid in a candy store.
Yeah. I love that stuff. I hope no matter what age I am, I hope I never lose that. That's because it's funny, as you get older, people expect you to act a certain way, it's like, screw that. You know what I mean? I am who I am, I'm not,
I love that.
Yeah. I still love funk music. I still love rock music. I still love music from the 50s, 60s, 70s, the 40s. I never want to change that. That's just who I am.
So it said in your thing that you're really into pop culture. What are some of your favorite things?
I'm not too much into celebrity. I love movies. I guess the biggest thing in pop culture is it's all these what do you call it? What's the term I'm trying to come up with? What's those shows that they put on TV? It's live. What do they call those? Reality TV.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, reality TV. I'm not too much into that because a lot of it is just it's like super dramatic, right? And that's like no. So me, it's like I stick with movies. I love movies. I love what they represent. Different parts of it.
What was the last movie you saw?
What was it? Oh, I went to go see with my son. What was it? Oh, Predator Badlands. I love science fiction. Did you guys see that, by the way?
I haven't seen it yet, but I loved Prey, and I loved the animated thing that came out after Prey.
Oh, that one, the Killers. Oh my
Yeah.
God, dude, I think Prey is just such a good movie, man. I really think that's the second best Predator movie. Might even be better than the first in terms of how well it's made, and the story, and how well directed it was, and the arc that followed, and how well the story got played out. And she was so good, right? The protagonist. Yeah, I think that movie's very well made. And I love the Alien movies. I love all that stuff. But in terms of like, what's that?
Alien and Predator are back. And who would have thought Disney buying Fox would bring Alien and Predator like back to their glory? Because Alien Earth and Alien, the newest Alien movie, I can't think of the title. That they were both really good.
So good. Romulus. I think it was Romulus. The last one, right? Yeah, that was good. Oh my God, Alien Earth, dude, that was the bomb. My God, did you get a chance to see that, Angel?
I've checked out a little bit of it. Right now, I'm full busy sports season, so I don't do anything but softball and then baseball. My two kids keep me busy.
It's like all the movies of Alien combined. You know what I mean? It's like it's so good. It's so good. But yeah, pop culture. Dominating headlines, of course, just the war and all the stuff that our political landscape and all the stuff that's going on there. But I don't want to get into that. But again, I love movies. I love comic books. I love graphic novels. I think my book could be turned into a graphic novel. Because he's an action figure, right? Wolfman's an action figure, action scene, right? So that's something I'm gonna explore later on. Yeah.
Awesome. So, sorry, go ahead, Angel.
Do you have your book on audio?
Not yet. That's something I'm considering. Actually, right now, guys, I signed up with an agent, and this week he when was it? This week? Last week? The week before, not this past week. The week before that, he created submissions for. He submitted letters to about 20 publishing houses, and about 20 production companies, and then about 15 producers, right? Individual producers, because they did an assessment on my book before he signed up with me. He says they gave me this great assessment on my book, and it's got it could adapt well to a movie, and I think it is, because when I read it to my wife, she kept telling me, she was just like, you wrote this book like it's a movie, right? It reads like a movie, and this week this agent that I received, he got a meeting in with a publisher named Kensington Books. And so they agreed to pick up my book, because I did my book with I'm considered self-published, right? And so now I'm going to go to a big publishing house. And I agreed to that because, they got a wider reach in terms of, my book exposure, right? Not just in USA, but, Canada, UK, all the other countries, right? So that was very exciting news, and now we're working to get a film adaptation, and because I think it'll be, I hope, movie or otherwise. I think there's a series coming behind it. That's why I put volume 1, because I have to work on the second one. Yeah, I have to work on the second one, and then I also Nicole, the lady he falls in love with, I want to write a book on her and give her a real interesting story. And then another guy who at first is an antagonist, but later on becomes his ally, And so I want to write books for each one, and then write it to where they meet, Titus, and get that. And then, of course, and then keep that going. And then another thing I wrote about, that the thing that I did about this book is he lives at the end. My Wolfman lives at the end, so he can continue his journey. And that's another thing you don't see in werewolf stories, right? They all die at the end. It's like, and my book wouldn't sell. Nobody would be interested if I wrote, this similar stuff. So, yeah, that's what I wanted to.
Different.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Ricardo, where can everybody find you online?
So I'm on Amazon right now. But here's the thing: if any of your listeners want to get it on Amazon, for some reason the way their platform works, my book you cannot get the paperback or hardcover if you have Amazon Prime. Only if you have regular Amazon, right? If you have Prime, for some reason it won't let you get it. You can get the ebook, but not the other one. But my book is also available on BarnesandNoble.com, Thrift Books, Apple Books, about another 12 other sites that it's on there. Yeah. If you just Google it, Dancing Wolfman with an E after Wolf with an E, because that's my title character. That's his last name, Titus Wolfe with an E. So if you look that up, Google might ask you, goes, did you mean the Dancing Wolfman, like my title? Then you just click on it and it'll show you all the other sites where you can get it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I will put the links to the book down below, everybody. Like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll chat soon.
Hey, thank you.